I can't believe that it is so close to the end of the month. If you're like me, February has absolutely flown. I'm super excited for spring weather and I just love spring and that refreshing feeling that comes. I don't know about you guys, but I really caught that energy organizing and decluttering, and that was coming from the recent energy of the full moon, and took full advantage of that, of just really getting things um just that spring clean out that it feels like so great to do. So welcome. If you are new to joining me live, we're going to talk about some things that really can resonate with you. And I love this topic because in the past, I've been so hard on myself trying to be the type of person that's like, oh my gosh, I need to make sure that I don't make anyone upset. Or, oh my gosh, what do I do if people don't like me? And so I'm going to show you, because it also was super confusing to me at times. I'm like, why can I have a certain person that's like, oh my gosh, Amy, you're so amazing, and thank you for everything that you do. And then another person that's like, truly, I, hope you get derailed by a train in the morning. So we're going to talk about that and why that happens. So here we go, you guys. Some people love you and some people despise you, and that is okay. It is meant to be, and I'm going to show you why. So if you are new, welcome. My name is Amy Elizabeth Jorgensen, and I have a master's degree in education. I'm also a hypnotherapist, the founder of the ELV method, which allows you to clear negative, toxic phrases, negative energies, negative core beliefs, things at your inner child level, all kinds of stuff from your subconscious. And then when we do so, it allows your body to balance itself physically. So you feel this beautiful sensation of being really just decluttered in your mind, and feeling your body start to heal. And it's definitely amazing for those of you that are suffering from even physical ailments, because the emotions and the negative issues and all of that icky stuff that layers onto us all our lives are the reasons why we get symptoms. And then that's what we diagnose into illnesses. And the part of it is that once you get that diagnosis, right, your subconscious aligns like, oh, a doctor with a degree who is a specialist in this field just told me that I have XYZ. So your subconscious will actually align to ensure that you have XYZ. The mind is a very, very powerful source. I also love human design and NLP. And the reason that I really focused and magnetized magnetically was to embracing, I feel like, grasping onto these types of things, is because in my practice, I really like to focus on, you can't just do subconscious work and you can't just do cognitive work. The real amazing magic happens when you combine those two together. And then it's almost like this brilliant voila, right? Because you really can't function perfectly with just one or the other. Like, they're meant to work together. It's just that we really don't get taught how to align our cognitive and our subconscious minds together. So that's why I love different methodologies. All right. So tonight we're going to talk about why you feel like you really attract certain people, and why you feel like you really repel other people, and how not to beat yourself up over this, because it is in your design. And I'm going to show you 3 examples. I love doing things in sets of 3. I'm going to show you 3 examples of why this could be a possibility for you. I'm also going to throw over here in the chat section the link to my email, so you can take advantage of aligning yourself with the energies of the week by signing up for my email list. On Sundays, I send out a little email that will give you a challenge for the week, a journaling topic, a way to ground yourself, and also a specific negative energy that you can clear for the week. And it's aligned with where the energy is. And so you can take advantage of that too if you want to hop onto my email list. Also, I'm super happy to give you human design copy of your specific blueprint. So if you are new to human design, it is literally the blueprint of how you are designed to function. And so when I talk about these gates and these channels, you would know if you have your human design blueprint, which of these apply to you, if those are open for you and active, or if they aren't. And if they are open for you and active, then these things are very much a part of your personality. But or if they're active, they're very much a part of your personality. And if they're open, it means that you have a huge potential to be influenced by those around you that have these specific areas open or closed. Now, I have some really exciting news. I'm going to be relaunching my human design course. So if you want to jump into this, I will offer it at the beta price again. I have more details to come with that. If you were in it previously, you automatically get access to it again. And then also, I'm going to be doing readings where I will do a relationship overlay of you and another person, so you can see like where those conflicting energies are and where you can focus on. This is really works well with children and parents. So that's really exciting. So let's look at this. I don't charge you to just give you the blueprint of your human design. So it's not going to explain it to you, but you can at least see it. So you would be able to find gate 61 on there and look and see if it's colored in or open. And then you would know how this specific energy applies for you. But you're all affected by these because we have these energies in our human design. It's just some of them are cognitive and some of them are subconscious, and some of them we have the ability to have that energy be influenced by those around us, and some of these are energies that don't change for us. Okay, so I'm going to give you some really great examples. Let's look at, first of all, gate 61. So this is an inner filter. If this gate is active for you, you literally have this filter. So when you are around someone, you're like, ooh, like I can feel if this person is being genuine, or I can feel if this person is being fake. And it sometimes gets confusing because we're taught like you should be so open with everyone. And so as kiddos, when this filter is going off, sometimes we're taught like, oh, you need to be nice to so and so, because we haven't really learned that energy for ourselves. But it's okay to um, allow yourself to listen to this filter. When you feel the energy of someone's off, don't deny it. It doesn't mean you need to be rude or harsh or ignorant or judgmental. Just listen and know, like, okay, this doesn't feel like a good connection for me. And listen to yourself, because when we get into the mindset where we acknowledge and are okay with the fact that we don't need everyone to like us and we don't need to be in everyone's group, then we release a burden off of ourselves from trying to be this perfect person that has to conform to everyone else. And, I know for me, one of my underlying beliefs that I had to clear away was that something is wrong with me if I don't associate myself with lots of people. And I don't associate myself with lots of people. In fact, outside of my social media account, I'm very much an introvert, which really surprises people. They think that, oh, she's posting and talking and doing all this, then out in public, she's probably like this really bubbly person. And, today, if you've been following me, was my first day with Schreiber Foods. And I had to really remind myself all day long to be very personable, because when I get out of my personable space, I have very much a resting, what face. And when I'm thinking, I look really mean and really unhappy. And so I really have to make sure that I know that about myself. But unless I'm around my tribe or my people, I'm very introverted and I really just am not bubbly naturally. It's something that I have to really work on. So another part of gate 61 is, regardless of what's going on around you, you can sense what is true and authentic. So if someone's trying to pull the wool over your eyes and tell you something that you're like, it's just not really aligning. I'm not really buying the story, right? That's part of your filter. You know what is authentic and what isn't. So I put in there that it's like, you just know when someone's like, well, how did you know? You just do. It's part of your aligning with yourself. Now, I want to really point out that when I'm talking about gates and I'm talking about channels and we're talking about this, These things are applicable when you're living authentically. And so when people say, well, how do I know when I'm living authentically? It's understanding your human design and living the way that you were designed to be. So um, I talk about it a lot because it's, I think, one of the easiest examples is when people tell you to get out of your comfort zone. So some of us are designed to do that. We're designed to reach out and get out of our comfort zone, but others of us are designed to need to wait for an invitation. And so those that are designed that need to wait for that invitation. And I'm not talking like it doesn't have to be specifically like a formal invitation you get in the mail. I'm just saying like someone actually invites you into a conversation or someone offers an opportunity to you, then you need to wait for that opportunity to embrace it. Because if you're forcing yourself, which is the coming out of the comfort zone, if you're forcing yourself into things, it can make it so that you're really misaligned and you're not involving yourself into the right opportunities. And that is you will then waste your energy doing something that you won't complete, that isn't in alignment with you. And then you end up feeling incredibly exhausted. And we run around just feeling like we are so out of balance with the life that we have going on. And that's simply because you're not following your design. So, and, and don't confuse that. It doesn't mean that people that need to wait for opportunities should just like plop it in the recliner and sit and, this will come to me, because there's still actions that happen, but it happens a little bit differently for people that wait for the opportunity. So let's talk about this as an example. Let's say that you're the type of person that's designed to be more of a go out and grab it. Let's look at a scenario with two people applying for a job. So the person that's designed to go out and grab it is going to be more in line and more inclined to submit their resume and then physically walk into the company and say, hey, I'm so and so, I submitted my resume. Where the other person that needs to wait for the opportunity is more inclined to submit the resume and wait for the opportunity for them to be. So it doesn't really work very well if those people are designed to play and they try to do the opposite. It ends up in a crash and burn, and you end up being involved in things. If you get really stuck in starting things and you're like, why do I have all this energy and I start something and then I can never finish it? It's because you're doing things that you're not really aligned to do based off of some underlying conditioning that you think that this is the right choice or you think this is what you should be doing because that's what you were taught. Okay. Let's look at channel 6. Fine. So this means that in your human design, channel 6 and or gate 6 and gate 59 are active. And so it creates a channel. So people will be drawn to you like bees to honey, and it makes you super susceptible to being used. So I'm sure this is applies to some of us. Um, and then you also have this energy that's the auras of everyone around you. So it can be really overwhelming. And this is where it comes back to what I was talking about at the beginning. You're just not made for everyone, and that's okay. So, when I'm working with business clients, the something that we have come up all the time is imposter syndrome. So, if you aren't familiar with this, is what it is let's say that there is, someone else teaching human design or someone else teaching something that is the same that I'm teaching. So when you have imposter syndrome, it means that you kind of get that into your head that, oh my gosh, there's a million people selling, um, I'm going to use like a direct sales company. I'm not going to do a specific name because I really don't even know which ones are around at the moment. But if you are involved in like a specific company, I want you to think about that when you're like, oh my gosh, so many people are selling XYZ. Um, but or so many people are teaching XYZ, or so many people are doing nutrition coaching. So many people, like the market is so saturated. It doesn't matter because I can tell you right now that I can go Google 4 different people that, for example, teach human design, and I'm not going to align with every single one of them because it's their way, it's their presentation style, it's their energy, it's just think about this. Like, how many math teachers did you have going to school? A bunch, right? I guarantee that there were some of them, and we can even make it broader, like how many teachers you had, right? they're all teaching you something, but some of those teachers you really connected with, while other ones you were like, I don't even know for sure what it is. I just don't really, I don't really enjoy that class. Well, the same thing goes with you being energetically connected to people. And so for some people with this channel, your energy affects the auras of everyone around you. So you can be really overwhelming to some people, or some people love the way that you feel. And it's just going back to what I was talking about with imposter syndrome. I like to call it aligning with your tribe, right? Someone needs to hear the same thing from you. Do you ever have like, you watch someone and they go through that moment where suddenly something that you feel like they've been being taught by like 1,000 people? Like, I think this is really applicable for parents, because you tell your kids something and then someone else will tell them the same thing. And then it's like suddenly your kid comes home and they're like, I had this huge moment where blah, blah, blah. And it's like the light bulb went on, and you are thinking to yourself, like, I've been telling you this for like a year and someone else told them, right? And so suddenly it makes sense. It's just because their energy connection is different. And so they listened that time. It's the click, the aha moment. So, okay, you also can trigger a need for others to resolve their issues, and that make people really uncomfortable. So I want you to think of it as your energy is making them self-reflect, and they don't like the way that that feels. So it's almost like this sort of shocking, jolting energy, and it makes you feel icky to them. And sometimes they'll even turn around and say something like, oh, well, I don't like you because you're fake. It's like almost the reflection of what they are. They're saying they don't like about you. And this one can be really hard, because if you have this tendency to be empathetic and be nurturing, and you really want to help other people to resolve their issues, but you are giving that sort of that mirror energy, and it feels icky to them, they're not going to allow you into their space. So you can't help them, even though you know that you have like this driving desire to. And then it can be really um heartbreaking to you, because you're like, oh, I just want to help and they won't let me into that space. um, and this comes to the saying, I just don't like you. Anybody like had that happen before? Oh, me for sure. I've had people be like, I just don't like you. And I'm like, okay. Back when I really let this bother me, and I would confront people and I would say, hey, I just want to know if we can resolve things. There seems to be like something going on in between us. And then someone would say, I don't know, I just don't like you. And that would like tear me up, because I didn't want it disliked. And now it's almost like, okay, like I'll wear it, I'll own it. Cool. As long as you're staying out of my space and not causing me problems, you can dislike me all day long. It's totally fine, because I know that there's an energy mismatch between us, and I'm focused on elevating and climbing my energy to higher vibrational levels. And I really am not focused on whatever other people are doing, unless they're specifically coming to me as clients. And even then, there are times where I'm like, okay, you got to do some cognitive shifting, or you're not going to get there, because you can only do so much subconscious work, but you got to your cognitive mind and change your way of thinking. But if somebody's not on the same level as me, that's fine, because we're in a race, but we're on different horses, right? My horse is running at a different speed than yours. And I don't expect you to like be beating your horse to death to catch up to me. And I'm not going to pull my horse back to slow down for you. Kind of makes sense there. Okay, let's look at the next one. So channel 3740. So once again, this means that your gate 37 and your gate 40 are active. This means that you really build bonds on trust and honesty. So it makes it very difficult for you to have connections with people that also don't have what I like to call the integrity factor. Okay. When people let you down, your energy will literally freeze them out. So when you get around someone that is not being an influential source of honesty, trust, integrity, you will literally freeze them out. So your energy may unknowingly push them away, which also makes people dislike you, because they're like, what did I do? And it's not even so much anything that you're saying or doing. They can just feel it. So have you ever had that happen where you've had like a friendship that broke up, and you're like, I don't really know what I did. Like, you don't know what you did, but they've done something. And you're vibrational energy is actually pushing their vibrational energy away from you. And it's a very interesting thing, but I'm sure if you think about it, you can think of a time where you just had a friendship or something sort of just fall apart, but there's not really like an underlying issue. Um, and I had this happen and kind of I just got to the point where I was like, yeah, so it's just not a good mismatch. It's just not a good match anymore. So friendships, relationships, everything, jobs, you can be really aligned at one point and then things happen because people are growing and they're changing. I had someone who was talking about like, oh, well, back blah, 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 when this happened. And I was like, are you serious? Like, anybody that tries to tell me that they're the same person right now that they were 10 years ago, I'm seriously concerned for your path in life because as you change and grow and your path is different, you're say that you really have this like, beautiful relationship or friendship with someone and it's just like great. And then suddenly you realize like 5 years later, like it's just not working anymore. And you almost feel like you're, literally like clashing. It's because you guys have gone through things. You've grown at different tempos. And so you do not energetically match anymore. And we're so taught that something is wrong with that, but it's not. You should, you know, maintain a relationship of being decent with each other, but you can't force that kind of stuff. Um, you are a person of your word and you expect that out of others. So when you have this channel going and you tell someone, I'll be there at XYZ time or I'll do this for you, and then you expect that same thing out of other people. So it's very, very upsetting to you when someone commits to you and then blows you off. And this creates some energy conflict and also can make it so that people dislike you because they don't hold themselves up to that expectation, right? You become the bad guy. You do also have an energy that can really win people over, and you can be the person that like walks into the room and you have just like that energetic smile about you. Goes both ways. You can also walk into the room and be the person that's bringing like the energy that just like depletes everyone else. So just you being aware, right? You can affect by being aware. If you know that you're the energy in the room, then you choose how to bring your energy into the room. And then the last one is you seek for true allies. You just don't have time. So you're not the type of person that engages in like little chatty friendships. It just doesn't work for you. You're the type of you are going to spend some time hopping on the phone with someone. You're going to be engaged in some pretty in-depth conversation topics. You're not the type of person that's like picking up the phone and calling someone and being like, so how was your day? Oh, cool. And you just those types of things really don't mesh with you if you don't have a really purposeful reason for engaging with people, then you're just not going to waste your time doing it. And you also don't allow yourself to have connections with people that really aren't real allies with you. Those are the three reasons why. And they're not the only three reasons, but there's some that really stick out. So I like to say this life is simply easy peasy when you understand instead of resist yourself. Okay. So I'm going to just pop this up here. Um, Remember, I will run a human design chart for you for free. You do have to have three things, okay? Because if you don't, your chart has the possibility of not being accurate. And as people are like, well, I don't have one of these. It's really important that you have them. So I want to make sure to give you an accurate chart. You do need to know your date of birth, right? Most people know one. You do need to know your time of birth. You can access this usually on a birth certificate or getting a hold of the hospital that you were born at. Often you can get to the records. And then also you just need to know the city and the state that you were born in. But that is what I need to get you the most accurate, just because depending on the time of day, sometimes it can change your chart significantly enough that I wouldn't want you going off of, like reading the wrong map to go on a trip to Colorado. And I don't want you to end up in Texas. Okay. Um, I am relaunching my human design course. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'm going to do it for my beta price. And then I also do releasing negative energies from your subconscious mind. Those are on one-on-one sessions. And then, as I mentioned, you can hop over into my email list and do your weekly email alignment. Okay, guys, that is what I'm going to leave you with today. I'm also gonna say I'm not 100% sure yet. I may have to change the time that I do my live. So, um, I'm gonna align with my, bestest friend and see, what works out best for our family, but, I will definitely let you guys know, and I super appreciate you hopping on, and I'm sending you all the positive vibes for a beautiful, fantastic rest of your week.